Hi everyone. In defining a research problem, you may use certain words or items that are as such difficult to measure and or the understanding of which may vary from respondent to respondent. In a research study, it is important to develop, define or establish a set of rules, indicators or yardsticks in order to establish clearly the meaning of such words or items. It is sometimes also important to define clearly the study population from which you need to obtain the required information. When you define concepts that you plan to use either in your research problem and or in identifying the study population in a measurable form, they are called operational definitions or working definitions. You must understand that these operational definitions that you develop are only for the purpose of your study and could be quite different from legal definitions or those used by others. The meanings you assign to the concepts are only for the purpose of your study and are assigned to remove ambiguity when selecting or communicating with your respondents. As the understanding of concepts can vary markedly from person to person, your operational definitions will also inform your readers what exactly you mean by the concepts that you have used in your study. In this video today, I will take 3 examples to explain what are operational definitions. First, we will think about studies where the main objectives are to finding out the number of children living below the poverty line in Australia. The second one is to ascertain the impact of immigration on family roles among immigrants. And the third one is to measure the effectiveness of a retraining program designed to help young people. Although these objectives clearly state the main thrust of the studies, they are not specific in terms of either the main variables to be studied or the study population. You cannot count the number of children living below the poverty line until you decide what constitutes the poverty line and how to determine it. You cannot find out the impact of immigration on family roles unless you identify which roles constitute family roles. And you cannot measure effectiveness until you define what effectiveness is. On the other hand, it is equally important to decide exactly what you mean by children, immigrants, or the word young. Up to what age will you consider a person to be a child? Who would you consider young? Who would you consider to be an immigrant? In addition, will you consider immigrants from every country or only a few? In many cases, you need to develop operational definitions for the variables and concepts you are studying and for the population that becomes the source of the information for your study. Here in this table, you can see that I have listed the concepts and the population groups to be operationalized. Defining these clearly by developing operational definitions will avoid any kind of ambiguity and confusion. Operational definitions may differ from day-to-day meanings as well as dictionary or legal definitions. These meanings may not be helpful in identifying either your study population or the concepts you are studying. Though in daily life you often use words such as children, youth and immigrant very loosely, you need to be more specific when using them in a research study. You should work through your own definitions. Operational definitions give an operational meaning to the study population and the concept used. It is only through making your procedures explicit that you can validly describe, explain, verify and test. It is important to remember that there are no rules for deciding if an operational definition is valid. Your arguments convince others about the appropriateness of your definition. So here you can take an example and say that I am only looking at children below 14 years of age or between 10 and 14, and you may give a reason for that. You may say that poverty line, I consider poverty line for all those people who are earning below $10,000 in a year or $500 in a month. You may say that family roles constitute of a parent earning for their are the parents being able to earn for the immigrant family, or are the children being able to go to school, or are they being able to, is the family being able to avail all the facilities provided by the government. When you say immigrant, you may say that I am looking at immigrants coming from Southeast Asia, or I am looking at immigrants who have just arrived from Syria or Palestine or a particular country, or you may say, so you can either define a zone or a country. When it comes to the young, you may say that I am considering everybody below the age of 18 as young. Everyone in their teens is 18. So everyone below the age of 18 I am considering as young. Or I might say that anyone below the age of 18 I am considering as young. So you define the definition of young here. When you talk about effectiveness, So you can define the effectiveness as well. It depends on what you constitute as effectiveness and what you constitute as the meaning of that word. So you will decide it. So remember here, the purpose is that you are trying to measure the effectiveness of a retraining program designed to help young people. So you can say effectiveness, I will describe it as the young people, are they able to find a job? Or are the young people off the streets? Or are the young people staying away from drugs or alcohol? So that is what you consider as effectiveness. It will depend on your study and of course the problem you are investigating. But you set the operational definition and then you define the variables that you want to measure. So this is very important for you because sometimes you may think that it is very obvious that the word family or poverty or child or young or immigrants is very clear. But it is not so for the reader, because the reader does not want uh, does not want to be confused by the use of a general term. They want to know very clearly what is it that you are investigating, what is the scope of your study, what are you exactly looking at, because they want a wholesome knowledge of that topic. If you say that I am going to consider immigrants from all countries, then you will not be able to define the challenges faced by immigrants of all the countries. But it is if you focus on a immigrant of a certain country, then you will be able to focus on defining all the challenges faced by them, and that gives the reader a wholesome or a holistic knowledge of the topic. I hope this video was useful for you. Please let me know in the comment section if there is anything that I missed, or feel free to add in the comment section. The idea is for us to learn from one another. Please like, comment, share and subscribe, and I will see you soon with my next video. Bye from now.